Not a whole lot of traffic. Live from Schellenberger Field, men's soccer on the docket this Saturday night. You're watching LHSN. TJ Wingert here with you. The Ferrum Panthers have made the trip to Lynchburg to take on the Hornets. Lynchburg enters at 6-4-1 on the season, 2-1 in conference play. Meanwhile, Ferrum enters at 2-7 overall, 1-1 in ODAC action. Here are some of the stats coming into tonight's contest. Lynchburg looking to keep things rolling in a positive direction. 3-1 of their last 4 games, 2 shutouts during that stretch. Meanwhile, Ferrum had won back-to-back games before dropping a home match against Washington Lee 5-1 against the Generals, the number 1 team in the country as of right now. And there's plenty of talent on both sides. We'll highlight some of our players to watch. Starting with number 19, Eric Nolasco, freshman from Winchester, Virginia. Team high 3 goals so far for Ferrum. That's 3 of the 8 scores this season for the Panthers. And on the other side, coming off scoring his 2nd goal in the season, Bailey Kearns. 3rd team all-conference last year, a senior from Broad Run. He just does a little bit of everything. So he gets in the scoring column last time out for Lynchburg, a part of a 2-0 victory at Roanoke. And you'll see him all over the pitch tonight. You'll hear me call his name a lot. And for the keepers, William Winters, 26 saves so far this season. Junior from Hampton, Virginia, has started each of the last 2 games for Ferrum. And in the opposing posts, it's Justin Ennis, a senior from Gainesville, Virginia, making his 5th consecutive start for Lynchburg. Has 15 saves, 4 goals allowed in that stretch. 3 of those 4 scores coming against Washington and Lee. The stage is set. Panthers and Hornets out onto the pitch, ready to get this one underway. Lynchburg looking for win number 4 over their last 5, while Ferrum looking to get back to their winning ways after collecting W's against Southern Virginia, 3-2 final score there, and then 1-0 topping Bridgewater before the aforementioned 5-1 loss at the hands of Washington and Lee. Play underway. Ferrum has the opening possession and will build from the back line up. Nice touch from Pedro Fonseca, giving it out towards the far side. Lynchburg now with possession. First time seeing the offense build up. Griffin Phillips parlays it over to Seth Dale. Dale, a junior from Chesterfield, Virginia. 1 time ahead for Robles, now giving back to Dale. Hornets will reverse. So entering tonight's play, Lynchburg 4th in the ODAC conference standings. Ferrum sitting at 7th. So a chance for both these teams to try to climb the ladder a little bit. Pass in the direction of Luke Mega, cut off by Ferrum. Loose ball, picked up by Leo Galpin. And now it's in the hands of Winters. Junior rolls it wide for David Miller, senior from Suffolk, Virginia, getting his 10th start on the season. Right around midfield, this is Darren Douglas, losing possession. Throw in for Lynchburg in positive territory. Talk about the head coaches for 2 sides. First-year man Matt Cureton had previously been the assistant coach at Guilford, who Lynchburg played in the ODAC championship last year, and blowing past the Quakers 5-1 in that ODAC conference championship game. Cureton, before being at Guilford, spent 2 years at Presbyterian College, helping the Blue Hose capture their first tournament, Big South tournament championship, that is. And he played at Lees McRae College, 59 starts, 65 games played, 4 goals to 11 assists. So he's at the helm for Ferrum. Monzi Shalita carries it into the attacking third. Tries to find Brennan Lagana. Ultimately, the loose ball picked up by Mega. He'll give it out to the senior Joey Daly. Lagana trying to feed Mega out towards the far side corner. It's going to be a goal kick coming from William Winters. And on the other bench, 19th year head coach Chris Yeager. He's done just about anything you can do at this level. Won the ODAC last year. 2016 Conference Coach of the Year. As mentioned, his 19th season at the helm. And has oversaw one of the most successful programs at the Division III level. Another goal kick coming from Winters. So as mentioned, Winters has started the last 2 games for Ferrum. 11 saves during that time period. 5 goals allowed, all coming against Washington and Lee. Shreda trying to pick up the loose ball. Able to get it out towards Daly. He was battling with Nicholas Baruti, a freshman from Italy. Ferrum actually has a lot of players coming from overseas. Baruti, as mentioned, from Italy. Callum Harrison in the starting 11, coming from Lincoln, England, excuse me. We also have Thomas Roth as well as Nicholas Roth, both coming from Senegal. Daniel Aguirre, another starter for Ferrum, coming from Guatemala, just to name a few. Throwing inbound for Lynchburg. Lagana with the honors. Toss it towards the 12. Kearns gets a head on it. Ball live off the chest of Foley. And ultimately cleared away by Miller. Shalita bumps into, looks like Giovanni Garcia. Shot on net. Winters gets his paws on it. First save of the day goes to William Winters. But another throw-in comes for the Hornets. Ghana tosses again towards Kearns. Overshoots the target. Popped up just outside the 18. Baruti battles with Shalita for positioning. Ball still loose, popped up by Fonseca. Another one of those players coming from overseas. Fonseca, native to Portugal. Ball sent all the way back towards Justin Ennis. First time we've seen him have to step up tonight. And Ennis ultimately has it roll all the way across the pitch to Winters. Ennis enters 1.21 goal against average, 75% save percentage, 1 shutout, 15 saves for the senior. Carter Averett, nice pass over to Kearns, our Lynchburg player to watch entering the match. Nice play coming from the back line of Ferrum, drawing the loose ball all the way back. Hornets back line. Griffin Phillips, a senior from Richmond, Virginia. Passes ahead for Dale. Marked up by Massimo Sirignaco. Deflected off the foot of, looks like Nicholas Roth, excuse me. Just about at the 8th minute, another throw-in comes from Lagana, headed away by Ferrum. We've seen just 1 shot so far, came from Lynchburg. Lagana tries to backheel it for Dale. The right back just a step away from being able to corral the pass. Kearns wins possession for Lynchburg. Daly ahead for Mega. And Mega's been on a tear as of late. This becomes his 12th start. 5 goals, 2 assists. Last year he had 9 scores with 1 assist to go with it. Now a chance for Ferrum to build in the other direction. Miller tried to play it back to Callum Harrison, excuse me. 2 not on the same page. Wayward pass results in a throw-in for Lynchburg. Long ball coming from Foley, trying to find Shalita. Dale and Sirignacco fight for it. Averett comes away with a loose ball. Ahead for Lagana. Just outside the attacking third. Swung over for Mega. Working against Harrison. Steps towards the end line. Charging it. Averett nearly able to send it on net. The shot was deflected. Loose ball. With nothing doing after Lagana tries to come through with the rebound opportunity. Ferrum and their defense answer the call. Sirignacco's pass off the body of Robles, who then picks it up. Averett ahead, has the junior Mega. Gets past Sirignacco. One more time, able to get past Miller. Left-footed strike missing wide left of the post. Nothing to show for it, but still a fruitful possession nonetheless for Lynchburg, able to put on a couple of shots towards the net. Both officially shots off goal, but forcing Ferrum's defense to work and keeping William Winters on his toes. Winters booms it out towards midfield. Headed ahead by Fonseca. Foley steps in. Clears to midfield. Shalita carrying ahead. Closest defender is Douglas. Also has Galpin. Shalita forced out. Ferrum will throw in deep from their own end of the pitch. Chance for Lynchburg to bring the press a little higher, try to create a turnover and a good scoring chance with it. Just over 10 minutes into the first half. Chipped ahead, looking the direction of Baruti. Ennis finds Foley. Grad student, makes his 9th start of the year. Second team All-ODAC last year. Phillips goes back to Ennis, rocking the baby blue keeper uniform tonight. Foley looks long for Kearns. Can't complete the pass. Be interesting to see when we saw Lynchburg last here at Schellenberger Field as Ferrum bombs it away right to the waiting Ennis. Lynchburg got a really nice game plan against both EMU and Maryville. Both those games, Lynchburg, the dominant team, and did a good job building the back line, including the midfield, and then getting to those forwards at the top of the attack, really playing connected well. But in games preceding that against CNU and the first time they saw Washington and Lee, and maybe even a little bit of the Covenant game as well, it was really each half cut in half. The first half of each half, as improperly worded as that can be, having the offensive game plan being more geared towards playing connected and using all 3 levels, and then the latter half trying to take a more direct approach, having fully bomb it ahead to Lagana or Phillips to Mega or any combination of Hornets you'd like. We'll see if that shift happens. It had been coming around the 20 to 25 minute mark in each half. Dale, the right back, gives to Robles. Tries to center it up inside the middle of the box. Cleared away by Ferrum. Lagana will throw in. Already seen a number of these throw-ins coming from sophomore, North Carolina native. 4 goals, 3 assists this year. The throw-in off the head of Kearns and then finds the chest of Looked like Griffin Phillips, and it was indeed. We've seen that scoring chance nearly come through on 2 separate occasions now tonight. Robles gets to the loose ball just ahead of Sirignacco. Dale gives back to Foley. Hornets again reverse. Dale. Sirignacco ahead of him. Everett, the holding mid. Overlooked position, but does a whole lot to build up the offense. Everett also with a goal on the season. That came in the first meeting against Washington and Lee, and it ultimately was the equalizer that sent that game into overtime, then double OT for the Generals. Able to break through at the time. Washington and Lee was the number 11 team in the country, now sitting atop D3 ranks, number 1 team across the country. Throwing from Ferrum, looking towards Sirignacco. Pass ahead for Baruti. Had it at his feet for just a moment. Jarred loose. They'll say last touch by a Panther. So Lynchburg once again brings it across midfield. Fonzie Shalita tried to backheel it towards Kearns. Before it could reach the sophomore, though, pass was broken up. And we're seeing Lynchburg on the offensive side being really patient. They've controlled time of possession, which they have done on a number of games here at Schellenberger Field, but not rushing into shots. 3 so far in the early goings, only 1 on goal. Shalita ahead for Mega. Left-footed shot, deflected. Harrison trying to clear it for the Panthers. Sends it back out. This is Brennan Lagana trying to feed ahead to Joey Daly. Pass clear down across the far sideline. Throw in for Lynchburg. There you see David Miller, senior from Suffolk, Virginia, on your screen a moment ago. Daly crosses towards Kearns, and Kearns does it again. Goals in back-to-back contests for the senior Bailey Kearns, his 3rd on the year, and the assist goes to Joey Daly. Daly will take the corners on this near side post, but looks comfortable on the far side, and a perfect pass. And with the perfect feed like that coming from Daly, his 3rd assist on the season, makes the job for Kearns on the receiving end a whole lot easier. Nonetheless, still takes the skill to finish the play off, and Kearns able to convert. So as Stead, Kearns' 3rd goal, Daly's 3rd assist. Lynchburg ahead 1-0. That'll give a go from Ferrum. Unsuccessful. Douglas was trying to get to Sirignacco. Possession does stay with Ferrum. Throw-in goes long. Possession bounced back and forth between the two teams. Kearns heads it towards Lagana. Skied in the Lynchburg sky. Robles ahead for Dale. Back to the junior Robles. Just over a third of the way through the first half. 1-0 Lynchburg leads. They've been controlling possession, and even after the score, continuing to do so. They'll say the pass just barely crosses this near sideline. Throwing coming from Galpin. Junior from Oxford. Had a goal against Southern Virginia and an assist against Washington and Lee. Pass off the mark. Another scoring chance. Lagana, a missile towards Winters. Kearns nearly able to convert on the rebound opportunity, but just barely sails it over the post. In the span of a few seconds, Kearns nearly collected his second on the night. But there you see the left-footed missile coming from Lagana. Doesn't look like his off foot, but that's the type of scoring ability that Brendan Lagana brings to the table night in and night out. And Kearns, someone who's just seemingly always in the right spot at the right time. You say the same on that last play. It was a matter of feet away from making it 2-0 Lynchburg. Shalita for Lagana. Trying to break to his left. Had it poked away by Miller. He'll give to Mega. Surrounded by three different black jerseys. Ferrum able to force Lynchburg to reset just outside the attacking third. Daly towards the top of the 18. Splits the difference between Shalita and Kearns. Loose ball. Picked up by Douglas. Back to Harrison. Bomb deep. Baruti trying to beat both Foley and Phillips, unable to do so. Wanted to play it back for Fonseca. Robles outside the box. Short hops Winters. Keeps a shot in front of him. The keeper there to gobble it up. Robles applies pressure to Galpin, and left back forced to just send it across the sideline. This has been a similar issue that we've seen from many different teams across many different sports that we broadcasted here on LHSN. Ferrum having a hard time mounting any sort of sustained possession. In the early going, 17, the Panthers really have it at their feet for more than maybe a minute or so. Well, Lynchburg has certainly, early on, been the more dominant team, and they have made you feel it while watching. Nice moves from Dale. Able to avoid the rush from Sirignacco. Now it's the Hornets on the far side. Shalita gives ahead. Daly trying to center it. Had Mega, Lagana, Robles, and Kearns all inside the 12. On the pass attempt, deflected across the end line. Last touch by a Ferrum Panther. We'll have our first corner on the night. Since it's on the far side post, it'll be Kenny Robles with the honors. Robles, 2 goals, 2 assists so far in his junior campaign. Sent towards the 6. Phillips gets a head on it, but just grazes past the dome and out of play it goes. It's a good ball from Kenny Robles, being cheered on by Coach Chris Yeager. And Phillips was trying to work against Eric Nolasco, freshman and our Ferrum player to watch entering the match. Averett trying to find Mega. Pass just a little too strong. So once again, Lynchburg's going to build from the back line. It's been the approach throughout the entirety of the first half, but this is right around that mark where I told you we've seen the offensive approach change right around this point in each half. Games prior, not so much against EMU nor Maryville. 5-0 win against the Royals, then 3-1 against the Maryville Scots. Those were the last 2 times we saw Lynchburg on their home turf. Lagana looking for Kearns. Heads it towards the net. Winters charges in. Climbs the ladder. And picks up the loose ball before anybody else can get ahead on it. Galpin shows off the leg. Bombs it all the way into the Lynchburg defensive third. Fonseca is trying to fly in and make something happen. Ferrum looking for the equalizer, but Fonseca not in a position to try to get to it before Phillips nor Foley. Avery working against Douglas, right at the midfield line. Chipped all the way back to Ennis. Robles, now back to Dale. We've seen Lynchburg build up a lot through this near side. Hasn't been exclusive. They haven't been afraid to go down the middle of the pitch like they are now, and the goal came from the far side, Daly feeding Kearns. Nonetheless, more often than not, the run has originated on the near side. Possession goes back to the Hornets. Win the night for Lynchburg helped prove the Hornets conference record up to 3-1. Good ball ahead. Averett has Kearns, 19 yards out. Senior forced to retreat and gives back to Phillips. It'd also make it 4 wins over the last 5. The lone loss was at Washington and Lee. 3-1 final score is the second meeting between the two teams. The first time two sides clashed, it was a non-conference bout. 2-1 double overtime winner for the Generals over the Hornets. That game came the day after a 1-1 tie with then-ranked number 22 in the country, CNU. Well, for Ferrum as of late, had a little bit of break in the schedule, and this is the third game back. After the immediate pause in the schedule was a 1-0 victory over Bridgewater. And they followed that up with playing host to Washington and Lee and fell 5-1. That was earlier this week. So Ferrum looking to get back into the winning column and climb up from 7th spot, the ODAC standings. Winters with the goal kick, making his 3rd consecutive start. Goal kick won by Lynchburg. So the Hornets, just as they've had all night, will maintain possession. And you look at some of the stats entering tonight's match between these two teams. 13 shots per game for Lynchburg to just 7.2 for Ferrum. There have been some tough stretches throughout the slate for Ferrum under first-year head coach Matt Cureton. But in a lot of ways, that is natural for a team with a first-year head coach trying to navigate its culture and its brand image moving forward. It does help there are a lot of good young players on this roster. Fonseca, somebody spearheading the top of the attack. Nicholas Baruti, you've heard me call his name a lot. He's a freshman. Eric Nolasco, our player to watch, also a freshman. Corner here for Lynchburg. Robles right to the 6. Kearns heads it down but misses wide right of the post. Kearns has been had close calls on 2 separate occasions. Very nearly could be 3-0 with all 3 scores coming from Kearns. Had a rebound opportunity earlier. just chipped it up over the post, and then here's another look at the header, missing wide right. But another really nice pass coming from the post, fed by Kenny Robles. And he just does such a nice job. He has fantastic dribble skills. I do not feel bad, or I do feel bad, I beg your pardon, for any defender who's trying to slow down Robles one-on-one. He's just so shifty and hides his movements well to where you really don't know which side he's trying to favor or work towards. Foley tries to send it towards Robles, the pass off the mark, so a throw-in coming from the Panthers. Then additionally, not a touch that Robles plays with and pinpoint precision on shots and passes. I mean, it is really special stuff. The throw-in went towards Andrew Porter. He just checked in for Ferrum. Now he's at the top of the attack, and a lone Panther on Lynchburg's side of the pitch. Foley ahead for Shalita. Back to Foley. Crossing by the 18. Daly trying to do it by himself. Gets it to Kearns. Right around the 6. Ball still live. Shalita was just able to barely stay in across the end line. I was able to give it back towards Robles. The junior hits on the strike, pops it up, and over the net. 8th shot of the night for Lynchburg. That's 8 shots for Lynchburg, none so far for Ferrum. To my memory, we've only seen Ferrum ball at their feet in positive territory 2, maybe 3 times, and each of those occasions just passing moments in the grand scheme of how this game's played out so far. Kearns, good ball ahead for Robles. Now forced to slow down. Kearns will cross. Shalita doesn't get a clean footing on the strike. Lynchburg forced to reset. Shalita will reverse, has Robles. Parallel to the edge of the box. Now navigates inside. Tried to chip it ahead for Kearns. Popped up by Ferrum. Dale gathers. Robles brings it all the way out towards the near sideline. Draws plenty of contact. The closest defender, Jeffrey Calix. Make that Barodi. Pass off the mark. Out across the far sideline. Harrison will throw in for the Panthers. Callum Harrison, a freshman from Lincoln, England, started every game after missing the first. David Miller doing a lot of work trying to keep the possession with Ferrum. Good clear coming from the back line. And Andrew Porter trying to apply that press and create a turnover. Unable to do so, but force Lynchburg to work. Kearns, shot on net. Right to the waiting arms of Winters. Instead of punting out towards midfield, Winters will have one of his defenders do it. Looks like Daniel Aguirre in that center back spot. Dale carries it across midfield. Kearns, heard me call his name a whole lot tonight, and I promise you I would when we made him the player of the match, or player to watch. And he has not disappointed there. Robles chipped it up and just missed the head of Luke Mega. Ferrum's going to have a throw-in but deep in your own defensive territory. It allows Lynchburg to play it really aggressive, bring numbers ahead. Currently, no Hornet, not in positive territory, other than the keeper, Justin Ennis, of course. Throw in, picked up by Mega. Dale into the attacking third. Outside the box, wanted Shalita. Nicked around a few times. Kearns will reset. Left-footed strike. Deflected. And cleared by Aguirre out across the near sideline. Zach Whalen's going to check in now, coming on for Monzi Shalita. And for Ferrum, Nathan Girardi comes in for Nicholas Baruti. Dale tosses to Kearns. Has Miller in front of him. And it's Miller deflecting the cross attempt. So it's back out to Dale. Over to Averett. Swung out wide for Daly. Daly has the assist on the lone goal. Trying to find Kearns and rekindle that connection. That was good for the first goal and only goal we've seen so far. Kearns a little strong in the header. And misses high once again. So another goal kick coming from Winters, native to Hampton, Virginia. Blasted out towards midfield and finds the head of Kearns. Seems as though wherever Bailey Kearns is lined up on the pitch, the ball seems to find a way to make it to him. Foley connects with Daly, trying to find Whelan. Pass broken up. Porter fights with Daly. Race to the loose ball. Foley comes in, cleans up the play, clears it across the far sideline. Possession will stay with the Panthers, but now Lynchburg will set their defense. Ferrum, though, does get to carry some numbers forward. Throw-in goes to Fonseca. Then headed right towards Whelan. Plenty of leg. A long ball coming from Kearns. He was a little too far out in front of Robles. Whelan ahead for Lagana, but a whistle is blown as we hit the 36th minute. It's a foul to go against Ferrum. Free kick chance. Robles has Dale to his immediate right. One-man wall in front of Robles, but we've seen on those corners how good of an insert player Robles is on these set pieces. Robles, backside of the 6, finds a cluster of Ferrum Panthers. No one there for Lynchburg. Daly chips it ahead. Foley stays on side, as does Whelan. Whelan plays it back, and Kearns comes flying in. Bailey Kearns will not be denied. His second on the night. Up to 4 on the season. And the assist goes to Zach Whelan, his second on the year, native to Elk Ridge, Maryland, and a sophomore feeds the senior Kearns. Lynchburg moves ahead 2-0, and there have been plenty of other scoring chances for Kearns. It easily could be 4-5-0 if Kearns had a little bit better luck and had converted on a few more of those headers. But he'll take the fruitful chances that have resulted in a pair of goals, doubling his scoring efforts entering tonight's play. Aguirre plays long. Fonseca can't handle it. The trap comes a little strong off the chest. And Foley's there to pick it up for Lynchburg. Hornets create the triangle with Daly, Whelan, and Foley. And that trio pass it around. The pressure coming from Porter at the top of the attack for Ferrum. Now given all the way back to Ennis. Feeds Phillips. Senior center back kicks it over to the grad student senior back, or center back, I beg your pardon. Lynchburg right back where they were just a moment ago. Certainly have kept the pedal down, looking to build up on the offensive momentum that has slowly but surely built up on their side throughout the duration of this match. Good ball into the box. Headed up and out of play by actually not sure on the number there. Cluster subs coming in include Cesar Acosta, Michael Rendon, as well as Trevor Miller. Those three come in for Lagana, Bailey Kearns, and Carter Averett. No subs for Ferrum. Rendon gets ahead on it, has to go out of play. Possession won by Lynchburg. And it looked like taking that last shot was Josiah McCaskill. I believe that's McCaskill on the far side, number 9. Now bringing it towards the middle of the pitch. Allow me to see a better look at the number. It's actually Carl McInich. I beg your pardon. Sometimes the numbers, especially on the far side, can be a little tough to see, but it was McInich taking that shot about a minute ago for Lynchburg. Phillips looking for Whelan. Pass too long. So over 6 minutes left in the first half. 2-0, Lynchburg out in front. Galpin gives back to Winters. Miller at the top of the attack, applying some pressure. Winters forces to send it across the sideline, throwing inbound in positive territory for the Hornets. We're going to keep the offense on their side, up 2-0 already. Both goals coming from Bailey Kearns if you're just joining us. 11-0 shot advantage for the Hornets. Not only has it been nearly exclusive time of possession, Ferrum has not been able to muster up a shot, not even in retaliation, not even been able to do what figured to be the game plan pretty early on, where you let Lynchburg build up a heavy offensive presence and put numbers into the attacking third, and then you try to create a chance one-on-one, two-on-one the other way. But credit to Lynchburg. They've been calm, collected, been able to maintain possession, and have not given Ferrum any of those chances. Another corner. Robles finds the noggin of Miller. The freshman comes flying in a little too close to the sun, if you will. Leaves a shot up and over the post. Four and a half minutes left in the first half. Rendon over to Foley. Rendon, a senior from Chesterfield, Virginia, has appeared in 12 games now for the Hornets. Ferrum trying to build up in the other direction. First time seeing them be able to mount numbers ahead. The intended target was Girardi. He watches it roll across the sideline, boxed out by Dale. So now it's Lynchburg with a throw in deep in their own side. Not the best of clears coming from Phillips. Throw in for Ferrum. Clayton Sanchez with the honors. Beg your pardon. Make that Callum Harrison. Harrison launches it inside the box. Finds the head of Aguirre. Ball still loose. Nolasco to it. Loose ball picked up by Lynchburg. The Hornets, first time they've really been tested on the defensive end tonight. Answer the call. Porter makes some contact with Joey Daly, who hits the turf for a little bit. Daly back up on his feet. It carries ahead. Rendon parlays it over to Dale. Brings it across midfield. Gives the head to Liam Lovell, who had a goal, the second, on the day for Lynchburg against Roanoke. Miller, just outside the box. Now back out. Daly, left-footed. Finds the heel of Whelan. Tried to backheel it in there. Would have been an awesome circus shot to make it 3-0 for Lynchburg, but a tough shot to try to convert on. Winters gets the save. Another corner kick. Cesar Acosta will head out to the post. He came in earlier in the match for Lagana. Acosta trying to find Phillips. Second chance. Lovell sends it back out to the post. A goal kick coming from Winters. Just over 90 seconds left in the first set of 45. Zach Whelan's really emerged as a nice reserve for Lynchburg past couple of games. His role's growing bigger and bigger. Feeds Dale, and then Dale's pass ahead for Miller. Broken up, sent into the grandstands here at Schellenberger Field. Possession will stay with the Hornets as we're down to a minute in the first half. Don't figure to see Lynchburg in too much of a rush. Instead, try to use up the clock and create maybe one more chance to steal one before the end of the half. Nice give and go. Miller trying to feed Whelan, but well defended by Ferrum. Panthers build in the other direction. Long ball ahead for Porter. Foley heads it towards the sideline. Just barely stays in play. Favorable bounce for Lynchburg. Headed back towards midfield. And after finding the head of Nolasco, loose ball rolls to the feet of Daly. Less than 30 seconds left. Figure to see Lynchburg pass it around. Instead, a long ball ahead for Lovell, Pat goes quote-unquote incomplete. And the final seconds of the first half. Wind off the clock, and we have reached halftime. Lynchburg ahead 2-0 over Ferrum. Both goals coming from Bailey Kearns. But overall, really strong showing for the Hornets in the first set of 45. Panthers look to regroup, and Coach Matt Cureton going to have to find some adjustments to be made during the halftime break. We'll step aside, come back, and show you some stats from the first set of 45 and reset. You're watching Ferrum and Lynchburg on LHSN.
Never think such a donation is in vain because you're helping out hundreds of students that are just like me who need a shot and who are getting one without donations, without you individuals that are helping to donate to the university and the Lynchburg Fund, there would be no student body president Davion Washington. There'd probably be I'm stuck at home, Davion Washington. Not only is your donation building leaders, but it's building leaders like myself and others that will hopefully want to pay it forward one day and do the same thing. You know, for a fact that, you know, when I have it, because I will, I want to give back to this university that provided me a home for 4 years.
When you come to the University of Lynchburg to earn a master's degree in athletic training, you'll spend time in the classroom, but you'll also spend a lot of time in our top-notch facilities learning from athletic trainers and working closely with our student athletes. In the Graduate Cadaver Lab, you'll learn about the human body in the best way possible, by actually studying the human body. This will provide a foundation to make you a much better athletic trainer. In the athletic training laboratory, you'll get hands-on experience, practicing your skills, applying concepts from the classroom, and working with faculty on research projects. It's also where our hydrotherapy facilities are. This space is also used by students for studying and practicing skills outside of class time. In the Sports Medicine Clinic and Turner Gymnasium, you'll work with student athletes from more than 20 NCAA Division III sports teams, helping get them back to practice and into the game as soon as possible. As an athletic training student, you're a big part of the success of our sports teams and the success of the local athletic teams. We see this relationship as a win-win situation. You learn, and that helps us win.
Welcome back to Schellenberger Field on the campus of the University of Lynchburg. Men's soccer action on this Saturday evening on LHSN. Thank you all for joining us. TJ Wingard here with you to take you through tonight's action. 2-0 Lynchburg out in front of Ferrum. I'll show you some stats from the first set of 45, and the stats reflect the story as a very one-sided affair, and that's about what it was. No corners, actually, in that first half for Ferrum. It was 4 saves instead. But 14 shots for Lynchburg to none for Ferrum. Again, that tells the story in quite an efficient fashion. And not even just those big stats that jump off the box score and garner a lot of attention, but just time of possession, things that we don't track here at the University of Lynchburg. I mean, possession was 90 to 10, 90% to 10% Lynchburg over Ferrum. And especially if you take away goal kicks, it was even more narrow of a time of possession mark for Ferrum. So definitely some things to try to address in the second half. And overall, I don't think it's a game that Ferrum entered saying, hey, we have to be the more dominant team and we have to have possession. More so, we need to weather the storm from Lynchburg, let them build up possession, and let them put a ton of people in the attacking third, and then we're at the pick our moment right. And it comes down to the idea of you can't be better than the other team for a full 90 minutes. And Ferrum was banking on being able to weather the storm, keep it scoreless, and then find that one moment where they had the numbers advantage the other way and try to steal a goal and take one on the road against a team towards the top of the ODAC standings and the team that won the ODAC a season ago. Meanwhile, the stats reflect a very dominant showing for Lynchburg. So if you're a Hornets fan, you have to be happy with what you've seen so far tonight and hope it can carry into the second half of play. We'll step aside, come back with some highlights to show you all the big moments from the first half and talk more about some of the adjustments both teams could make. All that and more coming to you on LHSN.
I was looking for a school that could provide me with the athletics, academics to pursue my career, a wind symphony to pursue my passion for music, and really have a nice general atmosphere. The professors here are really unique, their background and their passion for teaching. It's really a place where you can explore. Lynchburg gives you the opportunity to fail, but also get back up in that period of time and learn from your mistakes. I can make these mistakes within the school environment, but also with the support of other friends, and be ready for the real world when you graduate.
Living the dream. USA, Mexico. That was so exciting.
Welcome back to Lynchburg, Virginia, the site for tonight's clash between the Panthers and the Hornets. Some men's soccer on the docket on LHSN. Thank you all for tuning in this Saturday night. Here are some of the highlights from the first set of 45, including both goals coming from Bailey Kearns. First in the 16th minute, the second in the 36th. There was the first. And he had a couple of other big opportunities, a couple of chances right there. And he had another look off a corner piece right there. Perfect work from our replay op, Pierce, on get me the exact plays I was looking for. Helped me look a little smarter. And then this was the second goal for Kearns, just flying in. Make that play, and then Whelan almost able to stretch the lead up to 3-0. And highlights feature a whole lot of scoring chances for Lynchburg and none for Ferrum, and that's because that was the story of the first half. Dominant showing from Lynchburg at all three levels. Defense, when it finally did get a test towards the end, was there to answer the call. The midfield play was just fantastic. That's ultimately how you get into a game where time of possession is so one-sided. It's because of the midfield play. And for Lynchburg, players like Carter Averett, Menzie Shalita, Seth Dale, Joey Daly, the center backs as well, Griffin Phillips and Nick Phillip, if you want to lump them into that midfield play, despite them being on the back line, those players dictate who has possession. And then the passing has been superb so far tonight for Lynchburg. So they haven't had a whole lot of turnovers and unforced errors that end possessions abruptly. So all that creates a storm where the Hornets have been the dominant team and looking to carry that into the second half. We'll step aside one final time and preview the second half with some adjustments both teams can make, and then bring you second half play between Lynchburg and Ferrum on LHSN.
Lynchburg really stood out for me just because of the way it treated its students. They really do make an effort here. I've learned that over my 4 years is that they actually do try to listen to what the student body wants, and they try to act on that. They don't really just give you a piece of paper here to then go off and do your own thing. They actually prepare you to like work with different populations, which is what the world is all about. It's just working with people that are different than you. They genuinely care that everyone has the ability to go off into the world and make a difference with whatever they like. For me, that's just being basically in a room with someone helping them achieve their first goal of, I don't know, doing a pull-up. I actually do believe they want you to do the best you can to change someone's life for the better. You can be anyone here, which I think is really cool. But regardless of who you are here, they will make sure you don't fall through the cracks, which is awesome. I have realized that I've never felt lost here. I will not regret ever coming here, that's for sure. So I'm very glad that I came here. Yeah, it's actually pretty awesome.
If you like being close with your professors, if you like being in small classes that help with one-on-one, if you like being in positive communities that help you train your weak points and strengthen your strong points, then the University of Lynchburg is a great place to go. You can never go wrong with the amount of help that they offer, the amount of self-sacrifice that other people will put in for you. It has a beautiful campus, it has dedicated teachers, it has nice students, it has fun activities, and it has plenty of things to do.
Today's a rough day. Jess and I are officially on a break. The couple canoe has broken up.
How you feeling? Living the dream.
Just canoeing. That's the Mexican side behind me. The U.S. is that way.
So far, we're all still alive.
I really want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Woo! We did it! Kind of.
The biggest thing that I've taken from Westover is probably my interactions with faculty. I started working with Dr. Fryer. He's always available for help, and he makes sure that I get to do the experiments and not just be there while he does them. I didn't want to limit myself when I came here to just taking the prereqs for med school. I wanted to get a full, well-rounded education, and I definitely found that in the Westover program. It's given me the opportunity to keep playing soccer at a competitive level, but also it's given me the ability to be a student and to pursue other activities such as EMS. "100% do Westover because it's not something they're going to regret, and it's going to be a lot of work, but so is everything else. It's just going to help build their education that they've already had and make them a better person for it."
Welcome back to the University of Lynchburg, the site for our men's soccer battle between the Hornets and the Ferrum Panthers. Lynchburg leading 2-0 as we get ready for the second half of play between these two teams. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. TJ Wingard here with you, and I want to thank you for welcoming me into your home. Hornets looking to build up on all the momentum they slowly but surely accumulated throughout the duration of the first set of 45. Every minute that went by, the team just got more and more dominant. Huge lead in shots, 14-0 as you saw during our halftime segment. 4 corners to none. Hornets over the Panthers there. So if you're Coach Chris Yeager and a Hornets fan at home, you're wanting to see a whole lot more here in the second half. Basically replicate exactly the recipe for success in the first half, and it featured a whole lot of header chances for Bailey Currents. He's just so good in the air, and he can do so much when he goes aerial. So figure to see more of those opportunities come arise. Meanwhile, for Ferrum, finding a way to mount any sort of sustained offensive possession. Even if Lynchburg stays the team that controls possession more frequently, it's about once you have the ball at your feet, what can you do with it? Can you build from the back line forward, or can you try to find the head of someone at the top of the attack and have them control, let numbers start to bleed forward as well? Create some even number, quality looks and chances with it. Because in the first half, it was nearly non-exclusive. It essentially was exclusive in better terms. Possession, and especially when you talk about possession in the attacking third. Ferrum, few and far between. I can think of one occasion off the top of my head towards the very end of the first half where had a chance with possession inside the attacking third, and it didn't last more than a few fleeting seconds. But on cue, good ball ahead, looking for Sirignacco. Daly's there, clears it out towards Harrison, centers it across the box. No one's home. Trying to track it down is Darren Douglas. So to start out the second half, we see Ferrum mount a good, successful run towards Justin Ennis in net for Lynchburg. And that's what you want to see more of here if you're a Ferrum fan. Have these chances, even if they're quick, just have them be connected and play through and give yourself an opportunity, because obviously it's hard to overcome a 2-goal deficit if you don't have the ball at your feet and you're not building up anything on the offensive side. Here comes Lynchburg the other way. Daly looking for Lagana ahead, marked up by Leo Galpin. And Galpin clears across the sideline, so throwing deep in positive territory, inbound for Lynchburg. Lagana has a strong arm. The approach, the throw-in, makes it inside the 6, headed up by Kearns, then cleared away by Ferrum all the way out towards midfield. Setdale waits on it. Sees the pressure from Nicholas Baruti. Trying to find Joey Daly. Passes off the mark. Something we did not see a whole lot of in the first half. The passing was pristine for the Hornets, if anything. But an early mishap creates a throw-in coming from Harrison. Nothing doing for the Panthers, though. Carter Averett now over to Nick Foley. Ahead for Daly. Lagana, sophomore. Over to the senior Daly. Chipped long and out of play. And to start the second half, actually a new keeper between the posts for Ferrum. This is number 0, Chris Rodriguez, a senior from Woodbridge, Virginia. There you see the goal kick from Rodriguez. So the day comes to a close for starter William Winters. Made his 3rd consecutive start, but will not come out for the second half. After the foul right at midfield goes against Lynchburg. Even a chance here for Ferrum. Put some pressure on Justin Ennis in that Lynchburg defense overall. Ball's live and finds the back of the net. That's the play you needed for Ferrum. Set piece sent towards Eric Nolasco. He heads it down and towards the 6. And it's now a 2-1 game. Take another look from the backside. That's Nolasco getting ahead on it. And scoring is Nicholas Baruti, his 2nd. of the season. The freshman comes through in a huge spot. Baruti was in the starting 11 for the first time in 3 matches' time. And he had a goal against Washington and Lee, so now a score in back-to-back games for Baruti. And all of a sudden, only 1 goal separates these two teams. And you're seeing Ferrum play way more aggressive here in the second half, putting some pressure on that Lynchburg defense. This looks like a different team overall. I know we're only about 5 minutes into the second half, but the MO and the game plan and then also the aggression that the Panthers have come out the second half with has been a huge change from what we saw in the first half. Sometimes going down 2-0 gives you that wake-up call and forces you to shift your game plan. There's the difference between strategy and tactics. Strategy is your overall, what you're going into, say, game plan, or you can apply it to history and military tactics alike. But strategy is your ideal and what you're trying to achieve before entering a game, and their tactics is how you make those adjustments on the fly. Those in-game shifts and player movements and things of that nature. And here are the tactician skills on display for Coach Cureton. And his Panthers now knocking on the door inside the attacking third, looking for the equalizer. Nolasco, left-footed strike is high and wide. But still, they went without a shot in the first half. And now we've seen 3 already for Ferrum and about 5.5 minutes of play. Now Lynchburg going to try to be a little more patient here. Let the Panthers work down off of the elevated emotions coming after finding the first goal in the night. Charging in, Rodriguez picks up the long ball intended for Lagana. Calpin on the near side. Carries it ahead. Bombs it ahead. Wanted Baruti. Nolasco in the vicinity. Nolasco, the closest defender, as Kearns gives back to Daly. Nice pass ahead. This is Kenny Robles. Ahead for the right back, Seth Dale, moving all the way up the pitch. And back to Monzi Shalita goes. Shalita will initiate the full reset. It's now Foley at midfield. Luke Mega, haven't called his name a lot today. 5 goals, 2 assists entering the match. He's been marked up against Callum Harrison for a majority of the night. Foley sends it towards Kearns, but headed away by the Panthers. Nice play by Daniel Aguirre. Reading the ball in the air. Times the jump right. We'll try once again with Daly on the near side. Has Mega. Backheeled towards the senior Daly and cleared. Across the end line by Jeffrey Calix, so a corner. Coming from the near side post. Mega plays it short for Kenny Robles. Normally it's Robles to take, and now it's a shorter corner. Lots of contact as Robles was sending it towards the 6, and Bailey Kearns was knocked over by Galpin. No whistle on the play. So it'll be a goal kick for Rodriguez, just his 2nd game played this season and his 3rd in his career at Ferrum. Last time he made his way out onto the pitch, it was against Southern Virginia in that 3-2 win. He started the match, played just under 67 minutes, gave up 2 goals, had 4 saves. So save percentage at 66.7% as he takes the pitch now for Ferrum. And now you're looking at a spot where this 4th goal of the match is going to be massive. It's either Lynchburg getting the lead back up to 2 and creating some breathing room, or it's the equalizer for Ferrum, and you're looking at a brand new ball game. Averett with Nolasco all over him. Averett again back to Foley. Lots Lofted towards the 12. Rodriguez charges in. Kearns pokes it away from Calix. And the turnover garners a possession. Mega, Shalita off the hands of Rodriguez. Ball still live, and Rodriguez able to cover the necessary ground. A good run created by the turnover from Shalita. Mega then trying to feed the sophomore. Hard strike towards Rodriguez, but the senior keeper there to make the stand. And punts it up, didn't hit it clean. Rolls out just at the midfield line. Throw in coming from Joey Daly. So now it's 15 shots to 2, Lynchburg over Ferrum. Both shots for the Panthers this half, including the goal from Nicholas Baruti, second on the season, second in as many matches. A little bit of wind and rain starting to come into effect. It's a light mist, but you can see it in the lights over Schellenberger Field. Free kick coming from the back line of Ferrum. Baruti gets a head on it, as does Kearns. Able to trap it off the chest. See the ball control Kearns has. That's what makes him so easily moved up and down the pitch. He's calm. He looks comfortable just anywhere on the field. And his ability to just maintain and control possession is valuable anywhere on the pitch. Robles takes the shot outside the 18. Rebound and a score for Monzi Shalita. The initial shot comes from about 20 yards out. Hits off the hands of Rodriguez a little too strong, and Shalita's there for the cleanup. Third goal of the night for Lynchburg. And for Shalita, his first goal on the season. Had 4 assists, but no goals. But the sophomore from Fairfax, Virginia, nets his first and stretches the lead back up to 2. Now back to the drawing board for Ferrum. You got to regain that momentum you had initially the first 5 minutes or so of the second half. Aguirre carrying very far ahead from that center back spot all the way out towards midfield. Handles the pressure pretty well from Kearns as well as Robles. Lynchburg does create the turnover. Sirignacco trying to get back to Miller. Robles pokes it loose. Seiko trying to feed Sirignacco. Pass off the mark. Daly there. Miller deflects it off Kearns. Now rolls to Rodriguez. In addition to Ferrum wanting to play up-tempo to regain that momentum and put Lynchburg back on the defensive like they were in the opening of the second half. Also, down to 33 minutes to score 2 goals just to send it to OT, let alone to try to come away with a win. You would need 3 scores, obviously, to do that. So tempo going to be a big factor here, and that's why I said that 4th goal of this match became such an important one. After Ferrum made it 2-1, that next goal was going to be very key in deciding where this match then goes. Obviously, simple enough. Now it's 3-1. Feels like Lynchburg's back in the driver's seat. But if it went the other way around and it's 2-2, Ferrum has all the momentum, and it's just tied it up, and you might be looking at them as the team carrying the momentum forward and trying to steal one on the road. But that's not the case for tonight's match. Galpin showcases the strong leg. Bombs it ahead towards Baruti. Gets a head on it. Pass picked off by Calix. Back to Baruti. Has 2 defenders all over him. Foley and then Averett comes away with the loose ball. Robles to Lagana. Looking for Mega. Swooping in from behind is Fonseca. They'll also say that Mega was offside, so anything that happened thereafter would not have mattered. 59th minute of play. Lynchburg looking to make it 4 wins over the last 5, with the lone loss coming at the hands of the #1 team in the country, and on the road for that matter, at Washington and Lee. And also a win would improve them to 4-0-1 here at Schellenberger Field. Fantastic mark this season. Meanwhile, Ferrum needs a couple of goals to tie it up, 3 to win. Now looking to make it 2 wins over the last 3. Going to get back to their winning ways. It actually truly become 3 wins over the last 4, with the exception also being to Washington and Lee. Sirignacco wanted Baruti. Pass off the mark. And quick update. Keeper for Ferrum is wearing number 0, but it is rostered 00. That's actually on the field. Freshman from Florence, Italy. Davide Bertini. So Bertini, I beg your pardon, is the man between the posts for Ferrum, not Rodriguez. Foley pokes it away for a moment. Sirignacco feeds the header of Nolasco, who places it perfectly high 90 and just gets past the outstretched arm of Ennis. Ferrum makes it 3-2. Sirignacco assists from just outside the box, and what a perfectly executed header. Coming from Eric Nolasco, he was our Ferrum player to watch, and he's now got a team best 4 goals on the season. And he had scored those 3 goals in consecutive matches prior to being shut out against Washington and Lee, so it's now 4 goals over the last 5 games. The Winchester, Virginia native Eric Nolasco. So it was 2-0 at the break. And now we've seen 3 scores in the second half with just under 30 minutes left to be played. 3-2 your score. Daly centers it. The 6th. The shot just wide left from Lagana. Shot was deflected off a Ferrum defender. So Robles will head out to the post. Good look for Lagana, unable to convert. Robles right at the 6, headed down, and then headed away by Ferrum. What a play made by Pedro Fonseca. A team save and a big one at that. Now Bertini will play it short. The rebound look from Lagana high of the bar. Lagana's been close a few different occasions tonight, but has not been able to come through. The second half has become much more evenly battled than the first half ever was. You know, if you're a Ferrum fan, you can't help but think if the Panthers had a little bit more energy in the first set of 45, this game might be playing a little different. But still, Ferrum down by just a score, and a throw-in coming on the near sideline. Harrison ahead for Nolasco. Headed away by Averett. Picked up by Kearns. Trying to find Robles. Fonseca cuts off the pass. Clears it back towards midfield. Lynchburg plays the advantage. Shalita out wide for Robles. High step dribble moves working against Fonseca. Lynchburg will reset. That's Seth Dale. Robles back to Shalita. Who will center it up for Foley. Luke Mega working to his left. Chips it on net. Bertini there to pick it up. Some extracurricular activities parallel to Bertini as Kearns and David Miller. Those two exchange a few words and share a few bumps. And this was very nearly a handball for Carter Averett, and rightfully so from my point of view. Ferrum has a case for play being whistled dead there and setting up the free kick chance, but Ferrum won't get the call. Instead, Shalita ahead for Robles, heeled down for Lagana. Sophomore, out wide, Daly, the intended target, but the pass nowhere near on target. Ferrum earns the throw in. Still misty here in Lynchburg, Virginia. Good crowd on hand despite it. Number of people piling up on the track on the far side and people watching from the Westover Hall decks on the other end of the pitch. Kearns off the trap, heads it towards Averett. On to the 65th minute. Mega ahead of Harrison, the Ferrum defender. Swung over to Averett. Tapped ahead for Shalita. Then cleared by Ferrum. Throw in from the far side coming from Lynchburg. Dale feels the pressure and take the chance to send it back to Phillips. Now with Foley on the edge of the attacking third. Lagana for Mega. Shalita, like he stumbled just a little bit. Was down to one knee as Mega was trying to give way to the sophomore. Mega works to the middle of the field. Fakes the left-footed strike a couple of times. Now bends it home with the right. Luke Mega, are you kidding me? When Lynchburg needed a big play, Luke Mega says, hey, I'll do it myself. Look at the control from Mega. Sizes up Calix, the defender, and says, okay, you gave me too much room. I'll bend it off the far side post. A ridiculous play for Mega's 6th goal of the season. Lynchburg ahead 4-2. Mega was first team all-conference last year and certainly putting up the numbers to be right back in that spot at the end of his junior campaign. Lynchburg's advantage back up to 2. Porter gives to Calix. The intended target was Girardi. Pass was broken up. Near sideline, Callum Harrison looking for help. Galpin has a strong leg, trying to find Eric Nolasco, who scored the 2nd goal on the night for Ferrum. Aguirre, the center back, passes deep. Nolasco tussling with Phillips, and the foul goes against the senior from Richmond. Ferrum won't play it quick. Instead, will set up for a free kick. Calix with the honors. Less than 24 minutes left in regulation. Calix chips it on towards the far side, or near side post. Only player to it is Justin Ennis. Now here comes Luke Mega. Head down on a burst of speed, working right to left. Gives to Lagana. Lagana dekes out Sirinako. Takes the left-footed strike. Leaves it wide. Zach Whelan, Carl Makinich will check in. They come on for Mega and Shalita. I assure you, we will see Mega and Shalita back into this one. But they come out, catch their breath for a moment. Makinich and Whelan serve as fresh legs for Lynchburg. Bertini sends it to midfield. Girardi trying to keep it in play for Ferrum, able to do so. Finds Porter. First touch betrays him after the trap. Throw in for Lynchburg. Captain Nick Foley plays it over for Daly. Lagana with plenty of space around him. Gives way to Makinich. Pass rolls across the end line. They'll say last touched by the passer, Lagana. Really nice play for Harrison. Boxing out Makinich as he got to the ball first. Gives way to yet another goal kick for the freshman from Italy. Davide Bertini again to midfield. Galpin keeps it in play. Wheeling to it, but picked up by Calix. Miller feeds back to Aguirre. Everett fields it off the chest, tries to give it to Lovell. Dale trying to play it quick off the throw-in. Unable to do so, but it does collide off the body of a Panther defender. It's now a 22-3 shot advantage for Lynchburg. But hey, two of those three shots have been on goal for Ferrum, and they both found the back of the net. It's been an efficient clip for Ferrum when we've gotten to see them on the offensive end. The time of possession still being dominated by Lynchburg. Working middle. Left-footed shot. Misses high and wide. Lagana not afraid to let it fly from anywhere out on the field. By the way, Bertini, this becomes his first taste of collegiate action. Has not played before tonight. Trevor Miller is going to check in for Lynchburg in the next dead ball. And for Ferrum, it's going to be Darren Douglas entering the contest once again. Daly ahead of Sirignacco. Whelan has it taken away by Calix. Been really impressed by Jeffrey Calix's play, especially in the second half. Senior from Woodbridge, Virginia. Started all 10 games for Ferrum. Sirignacco gets a past Makinich. Feeds Nolasco. Galpin rolls it ahead for Calix. Porter trying to come in from behind, applying pressure to Averett. The senior gives way to Seth Dale. Zach Whelan off the mark on the pass, trying to get it back to Liam Lovell. Whelan does win it back for Lynchburg. Approaching the 71st minute of play. Chipped up into the box. Kearns gives to Averett. Looks like Averett was trying to pass it off to Dale. Dale came flying in towards the 12. Now a player down for Ferrum, and the clock will come to a stop. 18:48 left in regulation, and Jeffrey Calix is down onto the turf. Athletic trainers out to the pitch, and this could serve as a big injury. Ferrum's down by 2 scores, less than 19 minutes to go. Need a lot to go right to tie this one up and force OT, and one of the most impressive players in the second half has been Calix. He's someone who's been on the field for every minute tonight and has started every game, including tonight's action. That was the last shot coming from Lagana. Lynchburg has certainly tried to feed the sophomore. Nothing to show for it on the night. Calix is up and walking. Is coming up a little lame, however, a little bit gingerly, specifically on that left foot. Sirinako will stay out there, and coming on for Calix is Mikel Silva, freshman, now getting his 4th game played of the year. Trevor Miller does check in for Lynchburg. He comes in for Zach Whelan. Excuse me, does not come in for Whelan. Whelan's still out there. Comes in for Brennan Lagana. Whelan calling for the foul. Lots of contact between him and Alasko. Galpin with the free kick. Sends it all the way to the 18. Porter jumps into the Lynchburg night sky. Porter looks like a player who would be really dangerous in those set pieces. Really good athlete, good size. He's played strong whenever he's out on the pitch as well. That's a big part of it, too. You got to be able to put your defender on your backside. Lynchburg has the throw in. Be another throw-in coming for the Hornets with some substitutions in the form of Cesar Acosta. And as we told you earlier, Darren Douglas will check in. He comes in for Massimo Sirignacco. Sirignacco, I beg your pardon, holding his right hamstring just for a moment. He's coming up a little gimpy, walking towards the sideline. Might just be game wear and tear. But this might also spell the end of the night for Sirignacco. Douglas coming on in his spot. The subs for Lynchburg coming in for Bailey Kearns and Carter Averett. It'll be a goal kick for Bertini. Less than 17 minutes left in regulation. Ferrum wants to try to tie it up. Going to need a score and going to need one quick. Bertini has a good leg. Goal kick reaches midfield. Nothing coming off of a very short Ferrum chance after the goal kick. Could amount any offensive possession, so Lynchburg comes back in the other direction. Miller defended by Aguirre, who will tap it out across the far sideline. Miller fields the throw in. Second defender comes in the form of David Miller. He clears it out towards Westover Hall. Whelan picks up the loose ball. And off the cross attempt, it's deflected off the body of looks like Fonseca. So a corner on the way for Lynchburg, looking for the dagger. Up 4-2. Coming close to the 75th minute. Score here would certainly put the nail in the coffin. Joey Taylor will take the corner kick. Wind is blowing directly into his face, so that might affect the bend on this attempt. Backside post. Looked like Foley might have been the intended target. Acosta gives back to Rendon. Rendon launches it back towards the 18 and just over the head of Whelan. Or make that just over the head of Griffin Phillips. Whelan has possession, Finds Lovell. Has it poked free. Now Miller gives back to Lovell. Fonseca trying to find some room towards that far side post. They'll say it was poked out. Last touch by a Lynchburg defender. Aguirre to take the throw in with another sub coming in for the Panthers. This is number 14, Marcus Trotman, senior from Maryland. Started the season opener, but been a reserve ever since. That trend continues in tonight. Trotman comes in for Andrew Porter. Trevor Miller fights with David Miller. Whelan finds Dale. Deflected off the body of Trotman. Ferrum able to get it out of their defensive third and now have a player down. Looks like it might be Nicholas Baruti. Scored the first goal in the night for Ferrum. Now back up on his feet. Moving around rather gingerly, but Baruti has been really impressive tonight and been the main fixture at the top of the Ferrum attack pretty much all night long. An important player to keep out onto the pitch for sure. Harrison looking for space, navigates towards the sideline. Was able to get it into the box. Mikel Silva launched it into the night sky. Nowhere near on target. Silva came in as a sub maybe 5 to 10 minutes game time ago for an injured player, Jeffrey Calix. Haven't seen Calix return to the pitch. It looked like Silva just kind of uncorked that one. And it can be tough coming off the bench, ice cold, and then have a chance come to you inside the 18. Acosta, pretty ball ahead, wanting Dale. Goes out, last touch by a Ferrum defender. We're into the 78th minute, and Dale now coming up a little gimpy. That left ankle seeming to ail Dale in purposeful rhyming on that last play. Whelan chips it back towards Dale, just ahead of the corner post. It's Liam Lovell with it now. Had the second goal at Roanoke in Lynchburg's last game played. That was their second win in conference action. Looking to hold on to their 2-goal advantage and improve to 3-1 in ODAC action. Pick up their 4th win over the last 5 matches played. Daly rolls it ahead for Makinich. Cleared away by David Miller. No rush from Daly. He does throw it in back to Foley. Give and go between the two. The spot here where Ferrum has to play 2 opponents, both Lynchburg and the game clock. You will not see the Hornets in any sort of a rush. That said, Rendon lets it fly from the attacking third line. Maybe he was trying to set up Whelan, who was charging in towards net. Or maybe it was a shot. We'll see how they officially credit it. Looking at the scoreboard, 23 shots for Lynchburg to 4 for Ferrum. Possession has not been something that we've had to worry about all night long. It's been almost exclusively Lynchburg ball at their feet. But we have seen from Ferrum when they've had chances, it has been impressive, and they've been able to mount and build opportunities quickly. Been impressed with their ability to build something out of nothing in the snap of a finger. And it was on one of these set pieces that Ferrum eventually found their second goal. hoping that history can repeat itself. Nolasco had the assist on that goal. Here he's taken the set piece. Finds the head of Galpin, and Justin Ennis can't handle it. It'll go down as a goal for Leo Galpin, his second on the season. Junior from Oxford, England, gets a little bit of help as Justin Ennis has it go in and out of his hands. And like that, it's now 4-3. A flurry of substitutions for Lynchburg check in. Out comes Miller, Acosta, Rendon, Makinich, and Lovell. David Miller is going to come out for Ferrum. And all the original starters in those places for Lynchburg return. That's Brennan Lagana, Kenny Robles, Luke Mega, Carter Averett, Bailey Kearns. Back to a one-goal game. Little over 9 minutes left in regulation. Can Lynchburg hold on, or can Ferrum complete the comeback? Andrew Porter is back in for the Panthers, as is Nathan Girardi. Swung out wide. Lucas Sinka, the closest defender for Ferrum, applies the pressure to Dale. Bailey Kearns ahead for Robles. Fresh off getting the chance to catch his breath on the bench. Over to Averett, able to do the same. And these are the exact moments why you take out your starters and you try to layer them so they can all come back in. 8, 9, 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter in a close match. Those fresh legs could make a huge difference in the outcome. In tonight's situations, Lynchburg looking to hold on. Second half. It's going to be a goal kick coming from Bertini. And now that we are at the 82nd minute, you have some time to play with for Ferrum, but that said, time is of the essence. Silva applies the pressure to Foley, 16 defending 16. Able to get the pass off, but off the chest of Luke Mega, it goes and out of play. Fonseca to throw in. Launches to the box. Shouldered away by Foley. Chipped long. Lagana trying to track it down, working against Galpin, who heads it towards his keeper, and Bertini booms it towards midfield. Kearns picks up the loose ball. Plays back to Averett. Robles towards net. Bertini gets his hands on it. Well, if you're just joining us, or maybe if you watched the first half and are now checking back in, a lot has changed. It was 2-0 at the break, and it was all Lynchburg the first set of 45. But here in the second half, Ferrum has shown a ton of fight and have outscored Lynchburg 3-2 with 6.5 minutes left to go. Need one more. Try to get that equalizer and force overtime. Can Ferrum hang with a team in Lynchburg that was fourth in the conference standings, looking to climb the ladder and improve to 3-1 in conference play? Or is it Lynchburg holding off the attack from the Panthers? Ferrum had 1-2 consecutive before losing 5-1 earlier this week against Washington and Lee. Going to get back to their winning ways. 85th minute. Foley's certainly not in a rush. Connects with Lagana. Passing over to Daly. Playing it back. Zach Whelan. One more time over to Robles. Pass just a step behind the junior. But a good long, prolonged possession. And a chance for Lynchburg to at least take some time off the clock. No goal scored or anything thereabouts. But still forcing Ferrum to play two opponents, the game clock as well as the Hornets. Porter has it at his feet. And turns it over to Lynchburg. Averett back to Foley. Over to Griffin, and now at this point, Ferrum's going to have to bring some numbers forward and apply some pressure. Otherwise, Lynchburg is going to simply pass it back and forth between the back line and then throw Kearns into the mix on cue, proving me wrong. Kearns goes long for Robles. He'll track towards the post. Defended by Troutman. Goes off the body of Troutman. And Lynchburg earns the corner. So as opposed to holding it and trying to milk the clock, it looked like Lynchburg was initially trying to do a set piece and the clock running as they set up the corner. That will help milk the clock, but it also gives Lynchburg the chance to stretch it back up to a 2-goal advantage, which in doing so, with just over 4 minutes left to play, would essentially serve as the dagger. Daly out to the post. Left-footed striker. That lefty bend serves well. Corner chances from that half of the field. Sends it long. Kearns heads it down, trying to center it up. Deflected off the body of Girardi. Kearns had it for a second. And he's the last to touch it. Bertini to Galpin. The junior from England again showcases the leg. Reverses Fields. Kearns was battling with Douglas, and they'll say handball against Douglas. Clock continues to roll. Lynchburg feed it back to Foley, now over to Phillips. They're going to stop the clock, and Eric Nolasco is going to be awarded a yellow card. Clock stopped with 3:09. Nolasco scored the second of 3 goals on the night for Ferrum. And he was our player of the match. Also some words exchanged between our main official and Carter Averett. No card shown. So it's just Nolasco, the Ferrum player to watch, as mentioned. The other was Bailey Kearns. So both have scored. Our picks were pretty accurate from that mark. Not too shabby. Can't complain. A little over 3 minutes left in regulation, and Averett gets play back underway. And the clock continues to tick down against Ferrum. First touch, a little strong. Mega just able barely to keep it in. Monzi Shalita trying to work the sideline as well. Working against Douglas. They'll call Shalita for the foul, putting Douglas down onto the turf. Galpin blasted towards the center of the pitch. Porter in the area, but it's headed away by Foley. Aguirre to Foley. The center backs exchange possession. Trotman touched it while he was out. After the throw-in, looks like a foul was called on Lynchburg. Averett doesn't feel that all that clean. Rolls out to the far sideline. Dale has to deflect off his body as well as the closest Panther. Flick back to midfield, and Lagana has plenty of real estate to work with. The closest defender is Galpin. He tracks towards the center of the pitch. He'll lay it off. Shalita. Deke one. The shot. Deflected off a body. They'll say it didn't touch the arm of Girardi. Lynchburg gives it all the way back to Ennis. The senior keeper. Booms it towards Kearns. Lagana tussles with Galpin, and the whistle comes out. They'll say that Lagana was offside. Now the yellow card comes out. It'll go against Lagana. The clock has been stopped with 59 seconds left. These two teams continue to get scrappy. But the yellow card creates the set piece chance of sorts. Bertini has a solid leg. He can make it to the midfield line with consistency, and now he's playing up past that defensive third line on your screen. Just the official orchestrating madness on Schellenberger Field. Now you see where Bertini is working from. He can easily make it to the 18 from there. Gets it right at the line. Headed back. Now headed away by Averett. Ball still live. Galpin has it knocked away by Shalita. They'll say last touched by the sophomore, so it stays with Ferrum. We're into the 90th minute. Ferrum looking for the equalizer and force overtime. Lynchburg looking to hold on and make it their fourth win of the last 5 matches. Galpin throws in. Headed down by Mega. Lagana, 2-on-1 the other direction. Gets past Aguirre. Bernstein comes in. Lagana beats him. That's your dagger. Bertini had to play it aggressive, or he had to wait back. Decided to charge in against Lagana. And it's the 5th score of the year for the sophomore from North Carolina. They had been feeding Lagana all throughout the second half. And it felt like a matter of time before he was able to convert. And there on the easiest chance, does just that and puts the nail into the coffin. And puts this one in the winning column for Lynchburg. The W will have the Hornets at 7-4-1, 3-1 in ODAC play. Ferrum battles hard in the second half, but will ultimately fall to the hands of Lynchburg and drop to 2-8 on the season, 1-2 in conference play. What a match it turned into. If you were with us, the first half was 2-0 and simply put, dominated by Lynchburg. But in the second half, a different game comes to arise. And a battle where both teams score 3 separate times in the second half. All told, the first half is the difference. 5-3, Lynchburg holds on and gets the best of the Ferrum Panthers. What a match it was. Hornets and Panthers give us the show we were looking for. I want to say thank you, everybody, for spending your Saturday night with us on LHSN. For my director, Sam Rice, and the rest of our fantastic LHSN broadcast crew, that's going to do it for us from Schellenberger Field. My name's TJ Wingert, and until next time, we are signing off.